Welcome to another video of ProfPaulB. Today we're going to be looking at the requirements for an assignment to create a web application using the Java technologies. Basically, we're looking at JSP, we're looking at servlets, we're looking at EL, and JSTL. These are the requirements, and our app is a super cool spy app that we'll be creating. And what this app can do, this app can create missions, and we can view missions and delete missions. So before we get started, I'm just going to show you the structure of the project that I have in mind. Let me just slide this into place, and go ahead and pause this if you want. But basically what we have is we have three JSP pages. We have an index.jsp, which is the first page that we saw at the beginning, and we're going to see it again. We also have a create mission JSP page, which we're going to see in in a minute or so, and that's where we're actually creating a mission. And we also have a view missions.jsp page where we're actually going to be able to see all the missions given an agent. We have two servlets. We have a create mission servlet that does the business logic of creating the business entities and the array lists and whatnot. And we also have a delete mission servlet, which basically deletes all the missions given an agent. And that's it. That's it. We have two servlets. This application, there's no database access. It's a little bit strange when you think about it at first, but really what we want to do is we want to practice using attributes, using session attributes, request attributes. We could even use context attributes if we want to, or application level attributes if we want to. But the latter is not necessary to get this to work. Again, this doesn't necessarily have to persist over basically a system reboot or something like that. That is not a requirement at this point. So that's our project structure. I didn't talk about gadget, mission, and mission list. I'm just going to move this over, and I'm going to get the three classes here. Here's a little bit of a better diagram for the three classes. So there we have at the top we have a mission list, which has basically an agent as a string. So basically, which agent does this mission list belong to? And we have an array list of type mission called missions. So basically, each agent can have multiple missions. And this array list of type mission contains elements of type mission. And we look in the middle there, and we see that the mission class also has two data fields or attributes. One is a name. That's basically the name of the mission. We'll see that in a sec. And there's also the gadgets, which gadgets are going to be available for that mission. And again, we'll see that in a second as well. So the mission itself has a name and an array list of gadgets. And the gadget at the far bottom class is a very simple class with, actually they're all beans. I have to be careful about saying they're simple classes. What's not on the diagram here is what does it mean to be a bean? Not an enterprise Java bean, a simple Java bean. Basically, we have to implement this. It's not on the diagram here. We have to implement the serializable interface, and we need a default constructor, and we need getters and setters with the appropriate naming convention for all of our data fields. And so again, coming back to the gadget, it has one data field, one attribute, a string type called name. So that's our class structure. So let's go ahead now, and again, if you can pause this and rewind if you want to look at the project structure, feel free to do that as much as you want. But let's go ahead and take a look at the app in action. I'm going to move this over. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at, we have a view mission section here. We have Jane Blonde, Johnny English, and Austin Powers, my three favorite super cool private eyes or spies. And let me go ahead and click on Johnny English. And I'm going to click on Go to view Johnny English's missions. So this is the view missions JSP page. There are no missions to view. So let me go back to the start page. Let me create one. I'm going to create a mission, and again, this is the create mission.jsp page, and I'm going to call this, let's say, rescue the queen, and let's go ahead and choose Johnny. And to rescue the queen, we're going to need the exploding cigar, voice controlled Rolls Royce, the switchblade shoe, and notice there's a field here to enter another gadget. I'm not going to use that one just for now. So I'm going to click on here. Clicking on the create mission is actually going to call the create mission servlet. Going to do what it has to do in the background, and then it's going to dispatch to the view missions JSP page. So there's only one mission, and here we can see the missions for Johnny English. Mission 1, Rescue the Queen, that's the one we just did. There's a button here for deleting the missions for Johnny English. One thing I didn't show you at the very beginning, let me go back to the start page and let's check the missions for, let's say, Austin Powers. If I click on go, you'll notice there's no missions for Austin Powers, but there's also no delete button. Okay, so we're gonna have to use JSTL to have some conditionals in there when and when not that particular form is being displayed. So I'm going to go back to the start page, and I'm going to create another mission for Johnny English, just so we can see a couple missions for the one agent. And let's go ahead. Doesn't need the roles. Switchblade shoe, sure, maybe. You never know. There could be some bad people around. But if we're going to go to the moon, we need a rocket. And let's go ahead and create that mission. And again, that will call the create mission servlet, which will do its thing to create the required attributes, and then it's going to fire us back into the view missions JSP page. And now we see there are two missions, okay, so, and they're numbered: rescue the queen and capture the moon. And we see the gadgets are still there, and we see here our other gadget as rocket. So let's go ahead now, and we're going to delete missions for Johnny English. So this is actually going to call the delete missions servlet, and it brings us right back to the index.jsp, but now we have missions deleted for Johnny English. And I think that's about it. That's about all of our application. That's what it does. And now let's just go double check to make sure Johnny English, yeah, we did delete the missions for Johnny English. And that's about it. So those are the requirements for the application. Quite a bit of EL, quite a bit of JSTL. I think is enough to have a little bit of fun with. For well, hopefully it'll keep you busy for a couple hours at least. Hope you have a good time doing this app, and thanks for watching.